Anytime you create a new document, by default, Word has all the new text that you type in left aligned or left paragraph aligned. What that means is that when you start typing, you can see over to the left-hand side, it's aligned perfectly. And when I get to the end of the line, it wraps around it when it can't fit. And you can see it's not aligned over there because the default for the paragraph is left aligned. Now you can change the default, or if you want to find out what alignment that is applied to this paragraph, just go ahead and click anywhere within the paragraph. And what I mean by that is that you recall in earlier training videos, what you see as a paragraph and what Word defines as a paragraph are two different things. Let's come up here on the Home tab to the paragraph group and turn on the codes. So anytime we see a paragraph marker here, that means that we hit the Enter key on the keyboard and Microsoft sees that as a paragraph. So if I came at the end of this line and hit Enter and I turn off my codes, it looks like to us it's one paragraph, but according to Microsoft, let me turn them on again, everything from this point or this marker back up to that one is one paragraph, and everything from that marker down to the next paragraph marker is the second paragraph. So when it comes to other features, like if I want to apply the right alignment to this paragraph here, the entire paragraph, if I didn't know that this paragraph marker was here, look what happens. Let me turn them off and click up here within that paragraph, but what we think is a complete paragraph. And within that paragraph, you can see up here on the Home tab in the paragraph group, you can hover over the alignment. There's left align, and the shortcut key Control-L aligns your content to left margin. There's the center align to the center of the page, then the right align, and then if you feel justified, where it distributes the text evenly between the margins, then go ahead and select that. So if I do right align, notice how it doesn't apply to the entire paragraph, or what we think is a paragraph. Because remember, I hit the Enter key on the keyboard, so it added the paragraph marker here. I didn't let it naturally wrap around, and so it just applies between those two paragraph markers, the right align. So everything aligns perfectly over to the right, but not over to the left. Well, okay, maybe over here when we first started our text here, but that's one of those few examples where it does seem to align perfectly on the left as well as the right, but just for that line, but not for the entire paragraph. So if I go ahead and show my codes and I delete that paragraph marker, now it applies to, let me turn it off, the entire paragraph, or what we see as a complete paragraph, where we've got more than one sentence here and everything's right aligned, or as near as it can be except for the first line, because hey, that just seemed to turn out perfectly. So there's right align. How about if we do center? Ooh, that's fancy. Or if we try to justify it, where it evenly distributes, so you may find that there's more space in between certain words to be able to get that line to be able to align to the left and also to the right perfectly. And one other shortcut is that when you go to a blank line and you hover within that blank line, notice the I-beam. You see to the right of the I-beam, you get a bunch of lines. Compare those lines with what you see up here in the paragraph group and watch. When I go to the left, it looks like it's left aligned. When I go to the center, it goes underneath the I-beam with the lines that are center aligned, and then over to the far right, to the right-hand side. So when I see that, it doesn't tell me what alignment is currently being applied to that line, but what I can do if I double-click really fast, it will automatically do a right align. And you see how it added this tab stop? When you hover over its left tab, why did it do that instead of taking me right to the end here and aligning the entire paragraph to the right? Well, here's a little something you need to keep an eye on. Let me hit undo. When you move your mouse over the blank line and you get over to the far right, notice that the lines are to the right of the I-beam, but if I move it in, and that's left aligned, but if I move it close enough, all of a sudden it flips sides and it goes to the right align. So if I move it back so the lines are on the right hand side, double click really fast, it does an automatic tab stop for me, the left tab. But if I don't want that, let me hit undo, then I need to make sure that I'm paying attention to my I-beam so I get those lines over on the left hand side, as you can see up here, represents the right align. Because if I try to do a left align on the right hand side when it's already left align, that doesn't make sense. So Word thinks that you want to add a left tab stop, which is a shortcut to add a left tab stop to the blank line, but we don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and make sure we get close enough to the margin here so we can see the lines for the right align to the left hand side of the I-beam and double click really fast, and hey, there we go. You can see up here in the paragraph group it's right aligned. So when I start typing, it takes all the text and pushes it to the left so it can keep it aligned to the right so it doesn't wrap around and go to the next line down below. Again, that only works on blank lines. So if I go ahead and undo that, and let me undo this again so it's back to the default alignment, and you can see I've got my I-beam and it's got the lines underneath it on that blank line that I'm hovering in. Double click really fast, and now it's center aligned. So if I start to type, it tries to keep everything centered on that line there for the paragraph alignment.